I want to echo Coach with Coach Marlin and Coach Broadhead. On behalf of our program too, we wish him the best of luck heading into this weekend. We played well this week. Now we got to try to do is plow forward and realize that anything we did last week's not going to really have any bearing on this week. We had a unique situation with yesterday's game canceled and moved. Today's game's been canceled and moved. So we'll try to get a good workout today, get on the bus tomorrow, and get out of here for Little Rock and get back on the road. Coming off the Alabama weekend was a good weekend for us, learning how to play on the road. So hopefully we can take from that, get back on the road again. Now it's conference. Now it means a lot more than just a weekend series. It's a conference weekend series. So again, we'll get out of here tomorrow, get a light workout there, and get ready to go for the weekend. So open the floor for questions you might have. I don't know. You can look at it all kind of ways. You know, the big thing about playing with a young team is that I think it's good to throw more pitchers. That's the one thing I think that kind of hurts this week, is that I was going to throw more pitchers, get pitchers more time. We've got some more guys that need to throw. Connor needed to go back out. Sharp needed to go back out. We were going to throw all our bullpen again. So that kind of hurts. But it is what it is. You deal with what's in front of you. You can't control the weather. So it's not always, we tell them all the time, it's not important how you feel, what's important is how you act. So we have what we have in front of us, so we got to go work out today, get a good workout, get some bullpens in, and hit the road tomorrow. Well, you know, we always talk about this all the time. You know, anybody can get somebody's weakest hitter out, and anybody can get somebody's weakest hitter out when the game's not on the line. But can you come in and get somebody's best hitter and make the critical pitch at the critical time of the game? And that's the one thing I respect about what Dylan did, is he came in and made a critical pitch at a critical time in the game with somebody's best hitter. And what I also like is that he went to the tough side of the plate. He came in and finished him with a fastball in. Most freshmen would have tried to trick him away maybe, or try to trick somebody's best hitter away, or try to trick him, you know, with something soft, but he came in and stood him up. So I like that. I'm all for that, and that's what I really respected in him, is that he came in, he made the critical pitch at a critical time in the game against somebody's best hitter. Well, that, you know, our pitching philosophy it calls for that we're going to throw the wrong pitch wholeheartedly, then the right pitch half-heartedly. So they already have that in their system. But Therm does, you know, I said that last week, Therm just has a great grasp of our pitching system. And I think all those freshman pitchers that are pitching so good so early, I don't think it's coming from me. It's coming from Therm. Therm does a great job of handling pitchers. And I think when you can take that kind of young of a staff and handle it like he's handling it, I think that says a lot about Nick Therm and his ability to catch. Yes.
It's like your first 3 out of 10 pretty much have a defined role at this point. You know, with Reed, Dylan, and
Yep. I think those guys have kind of got out to shoot and done very well for us, to where we know what we're getting. We can trust them. And I also think we have other guys that will come on too. That's the nice thing about this, that I really believe will build even more depth, and that's the only downside of not playing in the middle of the week. And then next week we hit a week where we have no midweek game. So that's the only thing that I wish we could have solved, to be able to pitch some of these other guys, because I really believe we're going to be able to build some more depth and extend this thing a little bit more than we have. We just got to get back to getting some of these guys back out on the field and getting some more innings under their belt. But the first 3 have really been rock solid for us. Right now it's probably going to be Guillory Friday. Gunner's going to probably come up to Saturday, and then we're going to leave TBA Sunday to give Mill an extra day or 2. He came out of the game the other day with a little little tenderness, a little irritated nerve. Really, everything was good this week that the doctor looked at. They put him on some anti-inflammatories. So we'll kind of give him as much rest as he needs, and then we'll check with him as we go throughout the weekend, make sure that one, it's safe for him because we got a lot of season left, and then two, to make sure that it's that we put the team in the best position possible to win. We don't want him going out there if he's not 100%. Just because he wants to go out doesn't always add up to can they go out. So that's why we're going to move up Gunner and give him that extra day in there to try to hopefully let this thing calm down. He's been feeling good this week. He's scheduled to throw a bullpen today at practice, so we'll get to take another look at it. So that's the way we'll go this weekend. Well, he just had an irritated nerve, so we're just letting that nerve calm down. That's what gave him a little bit of trouble throwing the baseball. Baseball players get it a lot. I mean, even as coaches, and we throw a lot of BP, my last two fingers will go numb on my hand. So it's really because of the pressure on the nerve from throwing so many pitches. But he had a little tingling in his last two fingers, so we had taken him out of the game for that reason. And then we're just going to bump him back to Sunday and let the anti-inflammatory kick in, let his rest kick in, just make sure that it's safe for him to go back out.
Obviously, the goal is always to have your starters go long in the game,
Mm-hmm.
but is that kind of the goal specifically for this weekend?
Not necessarily. We talked to the bullpen, and before the season started, and they fully know that, you know, and I've said this before, and I think I said it even in here. Hunter, who left here 31-7, didn't get through the fifth inning till the regional his freshman year. So to ask freshmen to manage a game, you know, for 7 innings, if they do, it's a bonus. We've had a couple of them push through the 5th inning, and you know, Gunner's outing in Alabama was really good. But our bullpen we think's deep enough. We just want them to consistently keep getting to the 5th and just learn how to push through the 5th. Once they push through the 5th, if you look at our runs given up, we've given up more runs in the 5th inning than any inning throughout the season, and that's because momentum changes in the 5th inning of a 9-inning ball game, and that's where a starter has to earn his salt. Milhorn had the bases loaded at Alabama with 2 outs and didn't push through. So the 5th inning is a killer for starters. That's where you got to learn to push through. Guillory did first weekend. He pushed through the 5th, his first outing. So a couple of them have pushed through the 5th. What you'd like to try to see now is some consistency of being able to at least get you through the 5th inning. And if they can do that for me right now, that's all I'm asking, to learn how to do that. Once they can do what Baranek and Austin and Booty did, get you to the 7th, hey, that's a bonus. But I'm not going to ask that out of freshmen right now. Mm-hmm.
Didn't have a lot of strikeouts before last weekend, so is that maybe something that's development of the young staff, or is that just kind of?
Well, we don't teach the strikeout because you throw more pitches. We don't really care to strike people out. We want to pitch to contact. Keeps the pitch counts down. Let starters go longer. You get out of middle relief. They swung at a lot of stuff, you know, that week. But I think we're doing a better job with our intent and being able to attack the white, which is getting us to more 2-strike counts. I think that's the biggest difference, because we're not blowing 94, 95 out there with swing and miss stuff. I think we're starting to attack the white early and we're finishing late, whereas early in the year we were, you know, throwing and hoping, tiptoeing around the strike zone. And when you tiptoe, you know, amongst the tulips, you're going to be in trouble, because you're going to be 2-0, 2-1, 3-0, 3-1, 3-2, and that's what we were. And that's when you're going to get in some serious trouble. So I think since then they've learned to attack the strike zone to where now we can try to finish people 0-2 and 1-2 and 2-2. Well, I'm really glad, because in 1-run games, it's usually the coach's fault. So I'm glad we're 3-1. But a decision you make. But it's good to see that we're learning how to play in a close game, because I think you have to learn how to win all kind of ways, because at the end of the year, I just don't think you're going to be, when you get to a regional and a super regional, and if your goal is to get to Omaha, I mean, they're playing 2-to-1 games up there, so if you can only win because you can beat somebody 12 or 13-2, then you're in some trouble. So I'm glad that we've learned how to play in close games, to stay calm and not get spooked, and I think that helped us. Even though we didn't win the game in the pillow fight against McNeese that we had, the one thing we did do is for 17 innings, we played in a close game, and I think that helped us. When we got back to Troy 6-5, we didn't get spooked. We were able to just stay playing, and so yeah, I'm glad we're that away, because sport's crazy. You can get yourself defined, they can't win close games, or they can't do this, they can't do that. People love to put things on you, and so I'm glad that we got out of the chute early, playing good in one-run ball games.
Well, with that being said, it's only 15 games or no. You still have questions, but overall, what are your thoughts on the
Well, I'm very proud of where we are, because again, we lost so much arrogance. 6 guys in that lineup. We lost men. We lost guys that played ahead of their chronological age. I mean, think about it. 6 juniors got drafted. Well, if they weren't playing above their chronological age, why would the pro scouts take them if they weren't ready? So you got 6 juniors that left you. Go tell somebody to take 6 juniors off their team right now. I mean, not just one. I mean, I had a coach call me the other day, said, "Boy, we in trouble. We lost our best hitter." I said, "Go pick 4 more or 5 more, and then call me back." I mean, when you think about that, and then you take your Friday night starter gone, Saturday's gone, Sunday's gone, your bullpen's gone, 500 innings we lost. And to be sitting here where we're at, I think it's a great credit to those young guys that are out there, that we're able to continue to keep playing, because we don't want a license or an excuse to lose, But as Coach said a minute ago, he's a realist. As a realist, I mean, you have to look at what walked out of there, and when you talk about some of these guys might end up in advanced A this year, and they're really juniors in high school, that just tells you what we lost. You didn't lose just some guy hitting in the bottom of the order. I mean, you lost people that really could separate yourself from somebody. And what I like is that, again, Sunday we separated ourselves from somebody. At Alabama, we separated ourselves from somebody on Sunday, and that's so important to be able to do. And so I'm really glad where we are. I think we can get better. I think we can build some more depth in the bullpen, which is going to be nothing but good. We got to shore ourselves up better defensively. We got to, Coach alluded to, made a base running mistake. We've got to get better running the bases. But some pieces that I do like is, when we never lost back-to-back games, and then when we did, they went on a 5-6 game winning streak after that. So there's not a lot of, sitting in the mud digging a rut. Now, as Coach also said, it's a long season. I mean, he's got some freshmen now that might be going through slumps. Okay, that can happen to us. We don't know what will happen when they get tired. I mean, some of these high school seniors that were in Jennings High School and Barb High School last year, they're not going to play. Last year we played 58-10, played 68 games. They don't do that in high school. They're not getting on a bus and going all the way to Little Rock and coming back from Little Rock at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and he's got a biology test Monday morning, and his girlfriend dumps him on Tuesday. So we're going to really see, as the season wears on, what's going to happen that's not happening in high school too. So it is early, but nobody gets a trophy for early. I mean, it's where you are at the end. But where I'm at right now, I'm pleased. I think we could be better than 10-5 if that's what we are. I think we could have at least 2 more McNeese games. We should have took care of that and didn't. That was at home, and then somewhere else along the way I thought we could have maybe won 1. So I think we could be 2 wins better. So it is what it is. We'll deal with this week now, with no midweek games, a weekend series, no midweek games, a weekend series. So, but again, I'm pleased at where we're at, because considering what we lost. and not only the players that we lost, but you also lost 2 good coaches. I mean, unequivocally, one of the best hitting coaches I've ever had here. And you lose him, a guy that's giving you hitter's mentality every day. And so, man, when you mix all that up, you got a license to lose. And what I like about this team is they're not using that license. They want to be their own team.
Coach, just to let you know, after listening to Coach Mookie the last 2 weeks, we were a little surprised to know that you not.
Yeah, I understand that. That has not come cheap though. Coach has a serious fee for what he did. But no, I appreciate it. I mean, again, we have a kindred spirit because we both come from the journey. We both come from being in it for the right reasons. I've always said this is my belief. I think a good coach makes a boy a better baseball player, but I think a great coach makes a boy a better man. And ultimately, if you peel the layers back to our program, that's what we're about. That's what he's about the development of them, not only as a player, but as a person. Because again, you can read the Bible cover to cover. Nowhere near does it say you can either be a baseball player or a softball player, but it's pretty clear on the kind of man or woman you need to be. And that's been my goal. And as far as for the selflessness part of this, it's never been about me and never will be about me. They gave me the opportunity to manage this baseball program. It's not mine, never will be mine. And we've done it to try to make sure that the university benefits. And I think if everybody would do that, that's how I think you grow a company. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. And I really believe the season tickets we sell, the season tickets coach sells, the amount of people that goes out to the softball program, the following that we have, I think all that comes from not what we do, but why we do it. And I think that's the important thing when you run a business. And so, again, I appreciate Coach's kind words, but God's the only person that can handle glory, not man. So that's why I don't want any of it. Well, Adam stole first and Eve stole second. God threw them both out, so maybe he's a catcher. I don't know. Maybe he was a catcher. Well, that question was asked the coach too about UTA, and I think that the thing you can always see about good programs, we ignore our opponent and we compete against the game. So I can't even tell you who their starting pitcher is. And I love what she said earlier when she said she just realized who they were playing. I think that's a sign of good teams, good programs. Our opponent is us. And I know it's hard for me to stand up here because as reporters you might want us to talk about our opponent, but I'd have to talk about us because that's who our opponent is. That's who we're trying to solve. We're not trying to solve Little Rock's problems. We're trying to solve ours. What Little Rock's going to do to us and UTA is going to do to them, they're going to show up and test them. That's what an opponent does. They just test you. It's a test. And so we're going to go down there and be tested. South Al tested them. And you learn a lot. It's just like when the teacher hands you the paper back. You might have a C, but you got a chance to learn now. And when you play somebody, it's a measuring stick. You get to see where you're at, then you get to go do something about it. If you wouldn't play nobody, you'd start to think you're pretty good. And so we're going to go down there, and they're going to test us all 3 days. We'll gather a bunch of information and come back. And this weekend we didn't beat Troy. We handled ourselves pretty good. Now we got to learn how to do is try to see if we can do it every weekend, because our opponent travels with me. He's on my bus. He looks like me. He dresses like me. He's in my locker room. It's one kid that don't believe that you can get to Omaha. It's one player that doesn't want to follow the system or buy into the system. It's not Little Rock. We ask our players to ignore the opponent and compete against the game. And right now, we're competing against the game pretty good, but the game can be cruel, and it can turn on you. And we'll have to learn how to handle that when it comes. So far as for Little Rock, the most I know about them, they do have a new coach. I do like him. I do respect him. Not that I didn't the other coach, but it is a new coach. They do have a new philosophy there. They lost 2 out of 3. They won the Friday night game at South and then lost the next 2, but they played all 3 games were close, and they played good in all 3 games. And after that, that's about it. The field's going to be different because we're going to throw some freshmen in a smaller field. Hopefully, you know, we don't get spooked because of the field. So we'll need to handle that and make sure our hitters do the same thing, not try to get their nose off the barrel and try to lift the ball because we're in a smaller ballpark.